Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. We got lots to cover today. I got 4 stories. Everything from some really good news in the United States to a new travel warning for a very, very popular cruise destination. So let's go with the longest story here from the furthest back, and that is a new report just came out talking about the Ruby Princess. And if you don't, just a quick recap of what happened to the Ruby Princess. The officials let the passengers off that cruise ship, even though there was suspected COVID cases reported on board by the cruise line. And it turns out after that, it was 28 of those passengers passed away from COVID, as well as 663 of the passengers tested positive for COVID. And that went out into the community. And that's why, Australia area had such a big rise instantly all at one time in COVID, is because they just let everybody off. Even though they knew it was on the ship. They didn't bring them to a hotel and quarantine them. They didn't do that. And they had, this report was pretty scathing as far as the way they handled the situation. It's over 200 pages. So I'm not going to recite all 200 pages, but they said, a lot of this could have easily been solved had they just followed the normal protocols that were already in place. But they didn't. They laxed it, and it seemed like one hand didn't know what the other hand was doing, sort of thing that was happening, and we had the worst case disaster. So also in this report, they talked about the cruise line, and they remember at the beginning, a lot of people were saying the cruise line was hiding information from the port so they could get the people off. And it turns out that no, they were reporting. It looks like saying, look, we do have these cases. We have these cases. We suspect that they're COVID, but we don't have anything to test them on board. You'll have to do that in the port. And of course, that never happened. And so that was a pretty scathing report for that. Another good story in the United States is people going for their doses of the vaccine is way up. After slowing, at one point in the United States, people were getting their vaccine doses 3 million a day in some cases. 3 million. Then it slowed right down to almost a trickle. Once the COVID numbers started to get better, it seems like people just said, I guess we don't need it anymore. And it stopped down to, we were hitting just about 200,000 people a day were going for their vaccine shots. Well, in the past 2 weeks, that's gone up to almost 500,000 a day, about 450,000 a day right now and climbing, where it's over 100% increase. So that's good news, as a lot of people are realizing, well, you know what, with this Delta variant, maybe, just maybe, we should, get the shot just in case. And more places like New York and California and some other states are starting to require vaccines for certain employees or to do certain things. And they're certainly doing that here in Canada. Whether I agree or disagree, it can just make your life a lot easier if you have that vaccine and don't have to worry about it. I know somebody here in Canada who was talking to me, and I said, look, I got the vaccine. I'm not, I don't take the flu vaccine. I don't take any of that. But I need to travel, and I know I'm going to need it for travel. And this is before the cruises even started. And so they said, yeah, you're probably right. And now they're really thankful that I said that, because their job just required it. And they already have it. So they don't have to worry about losing their job or being shoved off to a job he doesn't like in the company because of the vaccine things. Like I said, whether you agree, disagree, doesn't matter. I'm kind of happy the vaccine rate is up as somebody who's been vaccinated. And here in Canada, I see the results of what's happening as far as keeping the Delta variant at bay a little bit. So I do have 2 other stories, including that one big travel advisory warning. But before I do that, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Really does help the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. Just tells YouTube, hey, let people know this video is out there, and I would really, really appreciate it. So, okay, I'll get to that Bahamas story in a minute. I let it out of the bag. It's about Bahamas. Here we go. But as you all know, when the virus first hit and cruise lines were first canceled and shut down, there were a lot of people who were offered, you can get 150% future cruise credit, and some people weren't offered their money back. Some people had to wait over 3, 4, 5 months for their refunds. Some cruise lines were not even offering refunds because it seemed like there was no official bylaw on cruise refunds for canceled cruises in the United States. So regulators have set out now some new guidelines where they're going to be trying to institute these, including cash refunds for cruises that are canceled and guarantees for cruise passengers, which is the more guarantees you have of your money, the better off we are. I think that's a safer way. I remember stories of families that were worried about going on a vacation because of they saw that the spread was happening and they saw what was happening on some of the cruise ships, and they got an email saying, you know what, if you're uncomfortable going on a cruise right now, we'll give you 100% future cruise credit. They took that. About a week or 2 later, the cruise lines end up canceling all their cruises because of the no sail order, instituting, well, you can get a 150% increase future cruise credit, or you can get a refund on your money. And when they called to say, hey, I would like a refund on my money, they said, sorry, you already took the other offer, so it's too late. Like 7 days later. So hopefully these new regulations will give more protection to us as cruise passengers. And now the big one, the big news that came out last week, Bahamas said, hey, if you want to come here, you have to be fully vaccinated or have a medical reason why you're not, or be under the age of 12. And the cruise ships had to scramble, and they had to cancel some people on their cruises because they were under, they had an exemption to the vaccine mandate. And so they were doing all this. Well, there seems to be a reason why now, because the CDC has just upgraded Bahamas to a level 4 do not travel advisory, saying that because of the amount of cases, over 500 per 100,000 people, it is now one of the high-risk zones in the world. As you know, Bahamas is a big cruise destination, including the private islands as well, right? That includes the private islands. So a lot of the cruise lines are going to look at this, but they're not going to there's no other places to go. There's only so many cruise ports you can go to right now. And Bahamas was one of those ones that opened up first. And, well, the Adventure of the Seas even has their home port there. So we will see what happens with this travel advisory. If you're uncomfortable going now to these cruises, this gives you a reason that you can call the cruise line and say, hey, look, the Bahamas on my cruise now just had a travel advisory raised to level 4. I don't feel comfortable going there. I want to change my cruise someplace else, and you should have no problem doing that. Remember, we just had the Scarlet Lady with Virgin Cruise Line said, you know what, we're not going to be going to Key West, but don't worry, we're going to go to that fun island of Nassau in the Bahamas, and it's going to be great, great cruise port. And then the very next day, there's a level 4 travel warning for the Bahamas. So take that with what you will. I'm probably going to one of the destinations furthest away from Nassau in a couple weeks from now, Alaska. And you know what? I was in a little bit of a down mood yesterday, and if you watch my Just Dawn video today, you'll probably understand more why I was in a little sad mood and a little on edge with that announcement from Carnival. It wasn't so much that I thought Carnival did anything wrong or anything. The wording of that response just annoyed me. But if you look at the Just Dawn video, you'll probably understand what kind of frame of mind I was in at the time. But I decided, yes, just yesterday as well, I'm going to stay in Alaska another week. I'm going to be on the final voyage of the Majestic Princess, as well as the second last voyage. So the first week I'll be able to do a lot of my stuff with my friend Tony, and we'll have a lot of good fun, get some videos, show the ship off. And then on the third day, like the second cruise, I plan to just sit on my balcony a lot and just watch the beautiful scenery of Alaska sail by and just take a nice, relaxed, stress-free cruise. And I can't wait. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.